Okay, there we go. So we're basically going to go over 4 or 5 different types of self muscle testing. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what you can test and how you can test it. And then I'm going to go over how to use this chart, which kind of helps you narrow it down to what you can use SEFI for and what might be most effective for SEFI. So that's kind of what we're going to do. And then if you want to, if anyone wants me to use, and it's right there, wants me to do an example of remote testing, I'd be happy to do that. So you can kind of start thinking if you have anything that you want me to test you for remotely, or not with AO, but just muscle testing. I know it's another level of woo-woo, or even for your kids or for someone else, I can do that, okay? So the self-testing that I do, the one I'm most familiar with and most comfortable with is the sway test. So I'm going to show you what it is, and then we can all just practice on one thing, okay? So you stand up tall, your feet are parallel, and you want to look straight ahead, and you soften your knees. That's the key. If you don't soften your knees, then you're less likely to sway. I'll turn to the side so you can see. And you simply say, show me yes, and you should sway one way. Show me no, and you should sway the other way. Perfectly fine if your sway is here, here, or you do like this little weird little circle. Everyone has their own yes, everyone has their own no. And then you can test it. Is my name Nadia? Is my name SpongeBob? No. So let's all test it. Go ahead and stand up and try the sway test for me. And if you don't know if you're getting a yes or no, you can let me know and I can watch you do it. Melissa, you can't see the chart? I just put it in there. You should be able to double click on it.
Yeah, I sent it again there for her, so she should get
Okay,
it.
oh, perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Bob. Okay, is everyone getting a yes? Everyone getting a no? Yeah?
Yes. Sometimes though, I get a maybe.
Yeah, that's normal. Sometimes, okay, so in the sway test, your brain's main job is to not let you fall over, right? So it's perfectly normal. You may need to take a little bit of time to get used to this, right? Really helps if you soften your knees, and it does help if you close your eyes also, because you're a little less balanced. Like vision is 60% of your balance. So if you close your eyes, then you're a little bit more likely to get that sway, and it may take some time to get.
This is a live scan on the scanner.
What's that? Okay, any other questions on the sway test? Okay. So the other one that's popular is called a finger circle test. You make 2 circles with your fingers and you interlock them like this. And you try not to have like a tight grip with your fingers, like you're not clenching, but you try to loosen up and you say, show me yes. And for my yes, I don't break my circles. And show me no, and I break them. But again, you can't clench. You kind of have to have like a loose grip. So show me yes, I do not do it. Show me no, I do it. Okay. So why don't you go ahead and practice that one and let me know if you have questions on that one. And then you can ask a question also, like my name is, or I live in, or do a yes and a no and see how it goes. This one's tricky for me sometimes because I think I have a tendency to like have a tight grip.
I tend to control it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can tell it's not natural. Right. Like this way. Okay.
Anyone have any questions on this one? Okay. The next one is the straight finger test. So I like to use my non-dominant hand because it's the same thing. I tend to control my dominant hand too much, but you basically put a finger out and you have a fist with the other part. And you simply are going to push down with your other one and you say, show me yes. And it should be fairly strong. Yes. And then show me no, it should break a little bit.
Show me yes.
It's usually just breaking down my little tip for me.
Show me no.
There's post office 2 or 3 blocks down. He told me where it is.
Oh, okay.
Any questions on that one? That one's tricky for me also. That's why I like the sway test.
Yeah.
Anyone have good success with that one so far? Oh, I put my necklace back on. Okay, the other thing is dowsing. So they sell specific dowsing crystals and stuff like that. but you can use anything on a chain or a rope. It doesn't have to be anything special. So basically you hold something that's dangly out, and you can put your hand below it or not. It's up to you. A lot of people like to have it here. And you simply say, show me yes. And for me, it's back and forth. And then you say, show me no. And for me, it's side to side.
No.
So again, this one can take, and it's perfectly normal. Some people do this circular thing one direction, another direction. Everyone has a different yes, everyone has a different no. So again, this sometimes takes a little bit of time, but a lot of people, this is their favorite one. It doesn't matter what you use, just you want to use some sort of energetic testing so that we can like dial down into the SEFI and dial down into supplements and stuff like that and find out what's good for your body at this given time, okay? So that's kind of what I'm thinking. You're going to pick one when we do some stuff, and doesn't matter which one. Okay. Any questions on that so far? Okay. So the guidelines for muscle testing, if you're not testing for yourself, if you're testing for someone else, you want to make sure that you ask permission. And obviously it should always be for the greater good. And it really helps if you practice a lot, just on silly things, just so you get used to your yes and your no. After you get going for a while, you won't even have to ask it. You'll be able to think it, and your body will naturally sway after you've practiced for a while.
Wait, so you can test for somebody else?
Mhm.
Really?
We're going to do that at the end, okay?
Okay.
So if you have someone in mind that you want me to test for, like if it's your kid and you can give me permission, then that's fine. But I have to have permission to test.
Okay.
I know. But yeah, that's like a different level woo-woo, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
So I use this all the time for supplements, essential oil, foods. I've saved a lot of money because I used to, like, the first time I heard about CBD oil, I don't know why I didn't muscle test, but I didn't. And I must have spent $500 trying all these different oils. Someone's like, oh, you got to try this. It's great. I'm like, it's not doing anything. So it really helps if you are getting something new. Someone needs to mute. Let's see. That you just muscle test just to make sure it's good for your body. Because just because it's good for my body doesn't mean it's good for your body. As an example, I showed this morning that I wanted to test to see if this orange was good for me, right? So I'm going to do the sway test. Is this good for my body right now? So I got a yes, but this is a new orange. This morning, I kind of had an orange had been sitting around for a while, and I don't know what I'm going to get. Let's see. Is this good for my body right now? I got a no. So an orange is not an orange, right? They're both organic, but this is more fresh. And this is, I don't know if you can see, but it's a little wilted, right? Or whatever you call an orange. And just because something is healthy, like we think of an avocado as healthy and it's organic and all that good stuff, it may not be good for my body right now, right? So I could do the sway test, or I could do this. Whoa, it just came out. I actually had some avocado for lunch. So maybe my body doesn't think I should have avocado right now. Okay. So anything that goes on your body or in your body, you should be muscle testing. Okay. That way you know what's good for it. So you can ask, is this good for my health right now? Right now is key, because right now is different than this morning, just like we know on the ASO scan, right? It changes all the time. And then you can I also ask whenever I'm doing supplements, especially the first time, is this good for my health right now? Is this beneficial for my health right now? Is this effective for my health right now? And will I tolerate it well? So it's BET, B-E-T, beneficial, effective, tolerated. Okay. Because it may be beneficial. I may need vitamin D, and it may be effective for my body, but this particular brand that I'm testing, I may not tolerate. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'd like to test a few things just so you can see different ways. Now, I've been doing this a long time, right? So I don't even have to hold it. I think you can see everything there. Yeah. So I can either hold it. This is magnesium oil. Is this good for my body right now? Yes. Okay, it's good for my body, but how much do I need, right? So here's a trick on you can get how much you need. pull this up a little bit. This is working on sprays. So I would go like this. Should I have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2? So right now my body wants 2 sprays of magnesium oil. Okay, so that's another way how to dose for it, which is really important. I'm getting over COVID. I'm over COVID. I don't have it anymore, but I'm still testing positive. So I still need tons of vitamin D. So I had a lot of vitamin D drops this morning. So let's see how many I need now. Should I have vitamin D right now for my body? How many drops should I have? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So I should have 6 drops at 2,000 international units. So I should have 12,000 international units for vitamin D3 right now of these drops. But that being said, when I go to the natural food store and I go to the vitamin D3 area, I only test positive for 2 different brands out of that whole area in there. So this is where this becomes really powerful when you walk into the store. And when you get good at it, you don't even have to say anything. So like I'll test this one. It's on just pink Himalayan salt. I'll do it without even saying anything. I went for it. So this is good for my body. So you don't even have to hold it. I can hold my hand over it and I can just ask myself, that's bee pollen. Bee pollen is good for me right now. I'll do this one. Okay. Glutathione would be good for you right now. I'll do some essential oils. Can you see down here? Can you see my essential oils? So I'm holding my hand over it. Okay.
Yeah.
I do not want me to have this orange essential oil. I basically just held my hand over it and I went back. Everything that goes on your body also, right? So is my shampoo good for me, right? Skin is our biggest organ. So make sure that you're doing all the products that are going on your skin. Make sense? Okay, any questions so far? Okay, cool. So if you just popped on here, we're going to talk about the SEFI list that I made. Is everyone able to get a hold of that? Does anyone, you can put in the chat or you can unmute yourself. Does anyone still need this? It's the dowsing chart.
I
Okay.
still didn't get it in my chat.
You didn't?
I'm getting everyone's written messages, but I'm not getting the chart.
Okay. All right, send me a text afterwards and then I will, I'll send it to you. We're on
Okay, thanks.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, message me right after.
Thanks.
I'll send you the chart. Okay, so this is super exciting. If you look there, I put this together. There are 4 columns at the top, and then there are 9 rows at the bottom. So while I was getting over COVID, I learned this new technique, and I went through and I labeled it heart, spleen, stomach, lung, organs, and I just ran through SEFI. I'm sure I missed some, but when I ran through them, I would put them all in the row. Okay. So this is how this chart works when you do list muscle testing or list dowsing, okay? So I'm gonna ask, is anything in an odd column good for my body right now? Is it beneficial? Is it effective? And will I tolerate it well, right? So anything in an odd column, is it good for my body? Okay, so I'm getting a yes.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, ask away.
You've got, you said odd columns are A, B, C, D. So how is that
I already
odd?
do that odd row.
Okay.
Right. So is anything in an odd row good for my body right now? Still getting yes. Anything in an even row good for my body right now? Okay, so I'm getting a row. No. So I'm going to write down odd rows. So can everyone try that? We'll do this together. So ask yourself, is anything, Melissa, just go ahead and do it and then I'll send you that chart and you'll have it. Anything in an odd row good for my body right now? Anything in an even row?
Yeah, I get both actually.
Yeah, that's, so you're going to have a lot of work in the end, right? That does happen. Okay, any questions?
I just got even.
You just got even, okay.
Mhm.
So now we're going to do columns. You're going to ask the same question, column A, B, C, and D. So anything good in column A for my body right now? Okay, I got a no. This morning I got a yes. Anything good in column B right now? I got a no. Anything in column C right now is good for my body. Okay, so I'm getting a yes. I'm going to mark C down. Column C. And then I'm going to do D. Anything in column D good for my body. Okay, so I'm just going to be focusing on row A, column C. So go ahead and do columns. So this just shows you how it changed, because this morning I was row 1, column A. And, you know, a few hours later, I'm row 1, column C. So it's pretty cool how we can dial down into that SEFI and how it changes, right? I mean, we all know that what we need every day and every hour changes. So I don't know if some of you are probably have many things to test, right? So now I'm just going to focus right on row 1, column C. So I would ask each individual thing in there, which one is good for my body right now? Okay, so I can do it just sitting here. All right, should I play SEFI for anemia for my body right now? I'm getting a no. Should I play it for angina pectoris? Getting a no. Aneurysm? Getting a no. Blood clot? Getting a yes. So I'm going to play that one. Blood diseases? Getting a no. Cleans blood? Getting a yes. Plasma? Nope. Intercostal neuralgia? Nope. And thrombosis? Nope. So I would be running 2 SEFIs based on this testing. And the way I have it set up, right? So let's say you were here and you had 2 here and you had 2 here, right? You have them kind of like all over the chart once you go through all that testing. So I run them in groups. So I'll run the hearts together, heart and bloods together. I'll run the lungs together. So, you know, it's debatable within AO that, you know, they're saying, some people say you should do 2 at a time, some say 5 at a time. Other testing I've done, it says up to 7. So that's your call. The more you do, the less effective they are, the longer you have to run them. But I found it's really nice when you group them together. Does it make sense? Is that pretty cool?
Mm.
All right. So let's see. We went over all that. So then that leaves a remote. If there aren't any questions about the test, anyone have any questions about that? Okay. So this can be done remotely. I tested someone in Belarus this week. He had a heart attack and he refused to go to the hospital. So his daughter's here in the States and she was freaking out. So I tested him and we came up with all sorts of things that she could run on him. But as I told the class this morning, what I made the mistake of doing, when you ask to test for someone remotely, you have to end the session. And I didn't end the session. And the next day I was having like really severe heart things. And I didn't put 1 and 1 together, you know? So you must, if you're testing for someone remotely, you have to say, I'm done testing for whoever you're testing for. Okay, so I want to make sure I say that. So would anyone like to do any remote testing for any vitamins or anything that you're curious about? You can just unmute yourself and pop it up if you are.
Would it be specific supplements or like, let's say, sinus issues or something like that?
Yeah, whatever. As long as we have specific questions to ask, you know what I mean? So if you have specific things in sinuses, like allergies versus cold flu versus.
Yeah, like it's like whether it's an allergy or related to mold, because I got this post-nasal drip going on,
Okay,
you know, that's constant, like a lot of times, where it's like I'll drink a glass of water and my nose starts to run and or, you know, just, yeah.
okay. So what you think, did you just say mold and allergies?
Yeah, like whether it's a mold, allergy,
What else?
viral, you know, those
Viral.
types.
Okay. All right.
Or is it
Yeah.
food related? Or is it a food related, you
No,
know?
it could be either one. Let me just make sure everyone is muted. Bob, do I have permission to test for you?
Yes.
Okay, so this is how it would go, just so you know. And I always keep asking, do I have permission to test for you? Because if I just like look at my screen and I see someone else, then I may lose that, okay? So he said I have permission to test for him. All right, we are testing for Bob and we'd like to know what his drippy nose is. Is it related to allergies? I'm getting a no. Okay, actually, I should have said this first. Am I testing for Bob? Am I testing for Nadia? I got a no. So I'm still testing for Bob. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So is Bob's runny nose related to mold? I'm getting a no. Am I still testing for Bob? Yes. Is Bob's runny nose related to viral? So I'm getting a yes on that one. Am I still testing for Bob? Is Bob's nose related to a new virus? Yes. I was a little hesitant, but yes. Is Bob's nose related to a bacterial infection? I'm getting a no. So that's kind of how you do it. Okay, so now I'm ending my session with Bob. I'm no longer testing for Bob.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Hey, Nadia.
yeah.
On using this, what you're showing us here, like I've got all these essential oils and other stuff, but am I supposed to, before I ever try using it and imprinting, am I supposed to erase?
No,
No.
because we're not using AO right now. The only part of this that relates to AO is really for the chart, right?
Oh, okay.
No,
Gotcha.
I mean, I have some essential oils here. And so I would just hold, you don't even have to hold an essential oil, but if you wanted to hold it, is peppermint good for my health right now? So I'm getting a no, and peppermint's one of my favorite oils. So that's kind of how I do essential oils. Or
Bob just gave you a stuffy runny nose.
well, I'm not smelling it, the cat's up. So let's see. Is tea tree good for my health right now? Okay, I'm getting a no. So that's kind of how I do essential oils. Or I actually have a whole drawer full of oils and they're set in a grid. So I will, let's say that my grid is right here. I'll put my hand like this and say, is anything in this column good for my health right now? And I'll go yes or no. And then I can go on the rows too. So I can do it that way also.
Then how do you make a determination as to how many drips or whatever you might use of an essential oil if you're just using a general question?
Well, so you narrow it down to the essential oil, right? And then, let's see, I think I tested it. Is sweet orange good for my health right now? Okay, so I'm getting a yes. Okay, so I go to the drop method and I have to stand up on this one because I'm not as accurate sitting down. So how many sweet orange oils, drops of oil should I use? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So I went for it on like 7, 6. So I would use 6 drops of essential oil. Should I diffuse this essential oil? Should I apply it to my skin? And should I inhale it? And then I could ask where, right? Should I put the 6 drops of essential oil on my feet? Should I put it on my shoulders? So you can kind of like narrow down.
Please tell me that this sway thing has not been this effortless for you, that it took a while, because you remind me of one of those little birds that has water in it and just, keeps bobbing. And I'm like, I have to put in a strong wind just to get my pendulum to move.
It definitely takes a while. I don't know if you're on at the beginning, but I think I said this morning, your brain does not want you to sway, period. It doesn't like it when it sways. People get vertigo when they sway, people fall over when they sway. So it's a big threat to the brain. So it does take practice.
But I sway easier than I do with my pendulum or my dowsing rods or some of your other things.
Well,
So
because you're using your body as a pendulum, right? Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. All right, any other questions? Or anyone else want to do another example?
I would like to add something to that about for those, I know myself that this is kind of generally what I found with other people too, is when they're starting out, when like doing the sway test or whether you're using your hands or whatever you're using, you got to get your mind out of the picture. Get you don't want to project your thoughts into it, because then that's wrong. You want to think of the energy of like thinking of as like love coming from your heart, like that whole energy system coming from the center of your body going out rather than projecting with your mind. So just get your head, your thoughts out of the picture and you'll be much better off, and just think of that love and what you're doing for that person and that energetic force that we have that you're projecting from the center of your body rather than with your mind. So I found that.
That's a good point. Yeah, and sometimes I do that with my essential oils because I'm biased to certain ones I like. That's why I like to just have them off to the side, and I'll just kind of go like this and I'll stop when I sway. That way you don't have that bias for yourself either. Anyone else have anything to add or questions or anything?
I had messaged you. I was born without a sense of smell. So I'm wondering if the AO scanner is going to end up helping me to repair that or bring that back even just a little bit. So is that something that you can muscle test to see if that is something that I should be working on, or?
Yeah, I would definitely. Do you know, did they narrow it down to the nerves or the olfactory bulb? Have they told you why they think that is?
No, like it's just a rare condition that most of my doctors have never seen, and all of my testing comes back normal.
Yeah. So I would use like the lungs. I think lungs has a lot of lungs. I would definitely go lungs. And then I'd also do row 6, eyes, ears, nose, and throat. And especially like all the nerve pain, inflamed nerves,
Okay.
anosmia, right? Smell none.
Yeah.
So I lost my sense of smell and taste. I think that's how we connected, right?
Yeah.
In from COVID. And so I kind of like dialed down on that. Did you watch the YouTube video I put together for
I
that?
did. And I've been practicing like smelling, tasting things and running the scanner. And I have had random where I can tell like something's there. But I think that what's going on is I have no smell memory because I've never smelled before. So everything is the same. I think something's there. It's not like I smelled this and it smells fruity, or it smells, and it's just like I smell a scent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It'll probably take a little bit longer, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but when you get that whiff, like journal what you did and like keep doing it, but play around with
Yeah,
those.
and it's definitely something stronger. It's usually like an essential oil or like an onion or a garlic or a bleach or like something that's like really potent that really stops other people. And I'm like barely getting a whiff. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That can be frustrating.
Nadia,
Yep.
are you using the same muscle testing for colors?
oh, that's a good question.
That's a good question. Oh, actually, you know what? I use them for my colored glasses. I didn't show that. So I've been using color glasses way before AO came along. So I can use like a balance test with my color glasses, or I can use a sway test. Like, whenever you give a presentation, you're amped up. So I'm guessing red is not going to be my friend, right? Is red good for my body right now? No, it's not. And it's kind of a dreary day. So just knowing myself, I know I'm going to need either green or orange, and probably orange because I like the sun and it's not sunny out. So I would put these on as orange, good for my body right now.
Well,
And
it's like this morning, I don't get really ticked off that often, but I was really ticked off at someone this morning. And I literally thought, isn't there some way, I'm looking at the color wheels and I'm thinking, okay, I think blue is the one, but I'm not sure. And Nadia's in the middle of getting ready for her webinar, so I'm not going to ask her. So I just wondered if that's how, if it's what you
so you have your glasses, right?
Well, I had the glasses, yeah.
Okay. So just set them out in a row.
I just didn't want to be more pissed off than I was
Yeah.
by putting on the wrong
Set them
color.
off in a row and set them up and just go like this. What's best for my body right now? And you'll sway forward on that's kind of the quickest, easiest way. And then you're just
Oh,
getting
gotcha.
body.
Gotcha.
I
I think everybody should be wearing colored glasses right
I
now.
think we should, especially now, no matter what thing you're dealing with.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
But green and orange, if anyone has a headache, you pop either one of these on, headaches, migraines, and you play the headache, migraine, SEFI, head pressure, SEFI. It'll be gone in less than 2 minutes. It changes the visual cortex, the orange and the green.
You said to wear green or orange if you have
Some
a headache?
people, the medical literature has more on orange for migraines than green.
Interesting.
But, what I've found is that green or orange really work well for.
I never get headaches, so that's why.
That's good.
Lucky one. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, good questions. Anyone else? Comment, question? No? Okay.
I just wanted to comment. Thank you so much, Nadia. I've been doing nutritional blood analysis, so I teach my clients this with the session, and it was just good confirmation. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do you have anything to add since you've been doing it?
Just, that feeling, you do it for a while and then it just becomes second nature. But I had a homeopathic doctor teach me, really think about being grounded like a carrot into the ground. And then he said to think of clouds, almost like, so that takes your body somewhere else and you're not forced to, sway one way or the other.
I like that.
Yeah.
Someone, my acupuncturist taught me also that after you ask the question, if you're a real cerebral person and you like to know all the little details of everything, that this testing can be really tough. So you can actually, after you've asked the question, you can start doing math in your head. Like you can count by threes, or you can count by, so that you're taking, like you were saying, Bob, taking your mind out of it, right? And then you might get that sway also.
I do have one more question.
Okay.
Since I know that you have your favorite types of products that you use, and if I go into a health food store or whatever, and I'm trying to find the best essential oil, usually for me, it's just whatever's the one that's the most expensive. But do you go through a process where you try to evaluate if you had no idea about any particular manufacturers or had no experience with any of them, what would be your
I would not
process
buy
of
any
going through to
essential
finding?
oils in any health food store.
What's that?
I would not buy any essential oils in any health food store. You have to.
Okay, well, anything that you might buy in a health food store, whatever type of
Yeah,
product
just do the
it might be, and you're trying to evaluate 5 manufacturers.
Yeah, I totally do the muscle testing for that, because what I use for essential oils, it may not respond as well as to what you use. But yeah, you definitely want.
But what's the question that you use? Because they might all be good for your body, but you're trying to find the one that's the best for your body. Is that?
Oh, okay.
What are you asking?
Question. That's a good question. Okay, so let's just say I had 4 vitamin Ds in a store that I tested well for, right? I could take those 4 and I could put them on a separate shelf and have them all up. And then the question could be, which is going to be the most beneficial, the most effective, and the most tolerable for my body? And then you could go like this, and you will go for it on the yes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Excellent.
And you don't have to have the product there. Once you get used to it, someone asked on the call this morning, a lot of stuff we have to order on Amazon right now. Can I just look at a picture, or can I just say the name? Most definitely, yes. You don't have to hold the
But do
product.
you ever sway back when you're
yeah.
running your hand, and you get over something that's junk?
Yes,
You
I'll
go
go
back.
back when it's really junk. And if it's neutral, I just won't say, but usually, hopefully on one of them, you'll sway forward.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. That's good to know.
All right. Is it a wrap? Any other questions?
When you get a neutral response, do you ask again, or do you just consider that either way it's not going to hurt you, but not going to be the most helpful?
Yeah, it's probably neutral in benefits as well. Or some people, when you first start, you just need to give it extra time also.
Okay.
Like I know one person, I was teaching her how to do it. It took her almost a full minute to come for it. So it's a little frustrating. It takes so long. So that it could be a timing thing, or it could just be like a neutral answer, or maybe it's old, like my orange, right? It wasn't fresh. It's kind of like the red scan on our vitals. What does it mean?
Yeah.
It can mean many, many things, right? So you kind of ask a different question, ask it a different way.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, everyone.
Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It was better second time around.
Oh, there you go. All right. Have a good day.
Thanks.
You're welcome.